best BYU team since 1984. And I have definitely drank the Kool-Aid. And since we're talking about BYU, it's Kool-Aid. So
And welcome to the Coach and Crew Show Game Day edition, where we are going to be talking about BYU at Coastal Carolina, coming to you from Conway, South Carolina. I dare say this is a makeshift game, but in the world we live in, this is where it is now. And these two teams have found availability. A group of five powerhouse versus an independent powerhouse, proving that Ohio State's 314 opponent strength of the schedule should be overlooked. So joining us today representing BYU, we have Michael Sorensen. Welcome, Michael.
Howdy, Coach.
Well, from representing Coastal Carolina, we have Luke Krause.
How's it going?
And representing both schools and the X factor of all this with his witty analysis is the man they call Tantor, Phil Walker.
Oh, the pressure now.
Anyway, we're going to start with Michael. Give me one offensive player for BYU we should look out for.
Well, other than Mormon Manziel himself, I would say watch out for Isaac Rex. He's our tight end, our sophomore tight end, who's filled in nicely for Matt Bushman, who was our tight end that got injured in training camp. He has 8 touchdowns, which is second only behind one Kyle Pitts. So watch out for him in his 6'6" frame to go up and snag balls from Zach Wilson.
And now give me a defensive player.
Defense, I would look out for Kairos Tonga, number 95, the big guy in the middle. He's 6'4", 320, only has 2.5 sacks this year, but expect him to give the 5'9" center for Coastal some troubles. So,
all right, Luke, your turn. Give me one offensive player for Coastal we should watch.
Now, let me tell you something, Coach. I can choose any of the Sean Clares on this offensive line, but I'm going to tell Isaiah Likely. He's a beast tight end. He will not let anyone through on that O-line. And let me tell you something. He's a deep route tight end. He's averaging 25 yards per catch, 4 touchdown passes on the season, 2 which are over 70 yards touchdown passes. He is a deep end tight end, and BYU is going to be on the lookout for this man in the end zone all game long.
All right, so we got 2 tight ends on the offensive side. Give me someone on the defensive side.
Teron Jackson. This morning, he got an entry to the Senior Bowl. He is our stud lineman. He has 21 solo tackles on the season and over 150 solo tackles in his career. He has 8.5 sacks, and he's a pure beast.
All right, Phil, we're going to go position by position and match them up, and you tell me where you see the advantage. BYU's offensive line versus Coastal's defensive line.
By far, it's going to be BYU's offensive line because Coastal is now going to play against the big boys, and literally big boys. There are 4, probably 5 guys that are going to be playing on Sundays in the next 2 years that they're going to be going against. And I'm sorry, no one short of Alabama can boast that.
All right, let's go opposite. Coastal's offensive line versus BYU's defensive line.
I think actually Coastal's offensive line has an advantage there because of their quickness. They are strong, but they are quick. They're used to playing that spread offense that they play, and they kind of run it with some little quirks there. So I think their offensive line is going to give BYU's defensive line some trouble.
All right, 2 top 10 rated quarterbacks, Zach Wilson of BYU or Grayson McCall of Coastal. Who has the better game?
Zach Wilson, of course. And that's only because he might be the best quarterback in the country. And it's just one guy outplaying the other. And it's just something that they're going to have to get over, that BYU has a top quarterback that could be a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Last question for you on this segment. Which coach will outcoach the other coach?
That's a tough one because both guys are pulling some things out. You've got Coastal Carolina having the season of seasons. They are Cinderella. And then this is the best BYU team since 1984. And I have definitely drank the Kool-Aid. And since we're talking about BYU, it's Kool-Aid. So it's their season. And unfortunately, it's 2020, and their schedule got whacked. But this will be the biggest game they played this year. And, hey, they even beat their arch rival, Boise State, which they hadn't beat, I think, in 4 or 5 seasons.
All right, Michael, back to you. BYU's biggest weakness is?
Well, other than the schedule that they had to scrap together, I would probably say just starting off slow. In most games they've played this year, the opposing team has scored on their first drive, but after that, it's been all BYU. But I think one thing BYU could work on is just starting off strong. Their defense needs to get a stop on the opponent's first drive.
Luke, same question. Biggest weakness for Coastal?
Our strength of schedule, 100%. Like Cantor said earlier, we're going against the big guys for once. He means the big guys. We're going to have a whole new test. We are willing to play anyone, and we will play anyone. But this is a whole new level than what we were used to before.
Phil, what's the X factor of the game?
The X factor are the linebackers for BYU. If the BYU's D-line can hold up those fast, angle-taking offensive linemen for Coastal, those linebackers, with Kafusi, and it sounds like Mufasa, and that's the best Disney villain around. So I've got to go with those linebackers. Those 3 guys from BYU are all over the place. They're the leading sackers on the team. They're leading tacklers. They're everywhere. And their speed is going to counter the speed that Coastal has. So I think BYU, their defense, is going to be the only team this year that's going to shut down Coastal's offense that has just been dominant. And then we hit the BYU offense, which no one has stopped, with a quarterback that's completing over 74% of his passes. I think it's just too much for Coastal to deal with. Even though they're going to fight to the very end, it's just not going to be enough.
All right, Luke, final question. Coastal will win because?
Our mentality. We will play anyone. All year long, all Coach Chadwell has said that we have the best mentality, which is true. Our rankings do not bother us. All we want to do is win the Sun Belt. We already qualified. We won the East. We have a home game against it, and we do have the best mentality, and we will pull through. I don't know if you've seen Michael Sorensen. Look at our Twitter. Have you seen what we do in the locker room? We put man through tables. We body slam people. If we are down the half, you don't know what we might pull out. Something might get cashed in. We are going to go through and pull this off. And that's the bottom line, because the coach from the Coach and Crew Show just said so. Coastal Carolina winning this weekend.
Michael, BYU wins because?
BYU will win the game because they have Zach Wilson. It's just plain and simple.
Easy enough.
Mentality. BYU will play anybody, anytime, anywhere. Have you not seen the headband? Zach Wilson. My man.
Phil, let's go Vegas style. Who covers the spread and why?
All right. BYU wins on the money line. What is our spread? I've seen 2 numbers. I've seen 10 and I've seen 9.5.
It's down to all right. As of the start of this show, the spread is exactly 10. It opened at 10.5.
BYU is going to win the game by 10. It is going to be a 45-35 game. Coastal will score, but it's not going to be enough to keep BYU in check. I think BYU's layoff of the past 3 weeks is going to have them coming out slow, but they will turn it on in the second half, and that will be the difference in the margin. So since we're looking at a push, I'm going to say BYU edges over and covers the 10.
There we have it. Our game of the week, ESPN's game of the week, is BYU at Coastal Carolina this Saturday at 5:30 on one of the ESPN channels. Right now it's listed as ESPNU, subject to change. For Cantor, Michael, and Luke,